What's up everybody, I'm Eric Hansen with BackpackingTV, and today I'm very excited to be doing a gear review on a pack that is one of the most popular packs on the market. Now the Osprey Atmos 65L pack is one of the top selling backpacks. Go on any trail and you're likely to come across somebody hiking or backpacking with this bad boy. But like pop music and elections, popularity doesn't always indicate quality. So I wanted to get my hands on this pack and actually test it out and really give it a run for its money and to see if it's a great backpack, if it's worth your money, and to give it an honest, unbiased review. Now, if you've been around the channel for a long time, you probably know that I've used a lot of other backpacks before, and back in my guiding days, I actually used to use Osprey, so I have a history with them, but it's been a few years since I've really given them an honest go. I've just been using other backpacks. So I reached out to Osprey, they sent me the Atmos 65 along, and I feel like it's time to give it a real test. So we're hitting the trails and we're gonna give it a go and see how it goes from here. Okay, so before we get into the actual review, I just wanna get you the specs on this backpack and kind of the marketing talk, what Osprey has to say about the backpack. So I'm gonna pull up my handy tablet here and read you the specs. The Atmos 65 is the best fitting, most ventilated and comfortable backpack ever made for traditional backpacking trips, up to a week or more in duration. The innovative anti-gravity suspension makes it feel like you're carrying less weight and seamlessly wraps around your body, which means you'll enjoy every mile more than ever. From easy to use stretch mesh side pockets, stow on the go trekking pole attachment, and flap jacket for lidless use, the Atmos AG65 is still the top contender. Backed by our almighty guarantee, forever. Removable floating top lid with dual zippered pockets and web attachment points, adjustable harness and fit on the fly hip belt to dial in perfect fit. Internal hydration reservoir sleeve accommodates up to a 3-liter reservoir. Front stretch mesh pockets stores rain gear for easy access when the skies darken or wet gear after the downpour stops. Dual upper and lower side compression straps mobilize loads and maintain a streamlined profile. Zippered hip belt pockets keep snacks and smaller items close at hand. Lower zippered sleeping bag compartment with removable divider. Dual ice tool loops. Removable sleeping pad straps. Sternum strap with integrated safety whistle. The pack itself weighs 4.56 pounds. So the first part of the test is simply packing the backpack. Just actually putting the items where I like to carry them is going to give me a lot of information about organization and ease of access, those kind of things that come into play for actually using the backpack on the trail. So let's load it up. I've got all the stuff for a 2-night backpacking trip, and then let's get going. So something that's specific to me is I always go backpacking with camera gear. So that's gonna be part of the test. I'm gonna put this right on the top. So hopefully I have some nice, easy access to it. Whoop. Okay, the bag is packed. It's time to actually go hit the trail, get some real miles on with this puppy. So first impressions, I've only just gotten in about a half mile or so of actual backpacking. So it's really early. However, that does give me at least an opportunity to kind of get what my first impressions are, first feels. And so far packing the backpack, I definitely enjoyed the organizational capabilities of the pack. It's really thoughtful design. So I liked that part of it. I have a couple of qualms with a couple of things, which I'll get into later. But just as a comfort piece, this is a super comfortable backpack. The way that it's designed to really wrap around me, I feel like it's very comfortable. However, there's one thing I'm not used to, and that's right up here with my head. I'm not used to having a backpack with a kind of a more curved design that arches over my shoulders. So I kind of have this feeling like I want to keep pushing that top lid back a little bit with my head to clear some space. But maybe I'm just not dialing in my fit exactly right, so there's an opportunity for me to do some adjustments and try to get it really dialed in just for me. But first impressions, it's a nice backpack, super comfortable. but I got some more miles to go before I can really tell you what I think. Where all my food at? So, one thing that I'm discovering as we go through this is this backpack is basically a main chamber. Now it does have some additional storage, but what I was just looking for is like, how do I get into my backpack without doing what I just did, having to dump everything in my pack? You know, because if it's only top loading access, then to get at, say, food that's in general best packed in the middle of your pack because it's heavy, you got to start taking stuff out. And to me, I prefer backpacks that have like middle access points where I could unzip something and get in. So that to me is just something to be aware of because it's definitely kind of cumbersome. It makes you not want to stop and say grab a snack that's in the middle of your pack if you have to unpack everything. So by now I've gotten a handful of miles in. I'm up over 11,000 feet, getting a chance to huff and puff and really just feel the pack settle in and my body settle into the pack. You know, you got a few points that you start to notice. So I'm looking for a place to settle down and break down all of my real thoughts on this backpack. Okay, gotten a good test in. I've hiked about 3 or 4 miles and I've gone up a pretty good elevation gains of huffing and puffing, getting that breath going. And I've got some things to say. I've got some thoughts on the Atmos backpack. First off, let's talk about comfort. Comfort is one of the biggest important issues when it comes to backpacking backpacks. And this backpack definitely passes the test. It's a really comfortable backpack. One of my favorite things is this mesh design on the back. It's unique, kind of unique to Osprey. And what it does is it helps hot points from really developing because it really kind of absorbs any hip points or any bulges or bones that might be sticking out that would really tend to rub on a backpack with a different design. So I really like that. The airflow is super comfortable. I wasn't getting sweaty. I had no back sweat, which is a big win for me. So I love this kind of mesh back here on it. Next up, ease of getting it fitted to me. This, I would say it's pretty good. I would give it maybe a B on the classic A through F scale. I don't really love this set of cantilevers that adjust the torso length. I think it's a little cumbersome to get my fingers and thumbs in kind of back behind all this mesh, grab that and move it. Now, it's not a bad system by any means. It's just, I feel like I've seen slightly more intuitive systems that also don't require very good finger strength. So I like the fit of some other styles a little bit better. And then one of the things that I just had a hard time getting over was the way that this fit of the backpack, it's made to curve with your body and be tight in on your shoulders, which for the most part I really like, because if you've ever backpacked with a backpack that hangs off of your shoulders, it feels very heavy. It's an awkward way to carry a backpack, and so this was mostly really good. The only thing that I didn't like is the way that the brain or the lid of the backpack kind of just came really close to the back of my head. Also important in getting the fit right is the hip belt. And this fit on the fly system, as it's so dubbed, is, I wouldn't call it a fit on the fly. Now it is pretty simple, but it does require jamming your fingers in and separating some pretty sturdy Velcro. So it's not the easiest thing, but it's the type of thing that you should really only be doing once, maybe twice, to kind of really dial in the fit of a hip belt. not something that you're going to be doing multiple times throughout a trip or a trail. You kind of do it once, get it set for your body, and then you can forget about it. So for doing it a couple of times, super easy. But the fit on the fly, I kind of think it's a little bit of a funny name because you do have to take your pack off and kind of wrestle with it just a little bit. That being said, once you've got this pack dialed in for your torso length, your hip size, the waist belt fit, it's a really nice fitting backpack. So I really like that. So another really important category to me is design thoughtfulness. Now that's going to be things like how easy is it to get your water bottle while you're hiking, access to different things as you're moving. Do you have to take everything out? Are there compartments that are well placed that can keep things like toiletries or toilet paper, kind of poop related hygiene things? These are all things that I'm going to be thinking about, where I can put my tent, where I can put my tripod. And that I think that this backpack does a really nice job with. I like that there's the two front zippers on the front of the pack. Being able to keep stuff separate is actually really important to me. Say a good place for like a water filter or a spare rain jacket, things like that. Being able to keep things not all in just one inner tube is something that I really like. Another thing on the design thoughtfulness, I actually really like having hip belt pockets. I know it's a simple thing and a lot of packs have it, some don't, and I'm a big fan of just being able to have my phone or some trail energy bars or things like that just right there, easy access. Those are things that I really, really like. Stability in a backpack is a super important feature, and that is definitely something that I look for in a quality backpack. And this pack nails stability. It's like a super stable backpack. When I move, the pack moves really right along with me. Everything feels really tight and locked in place, which is really nice. What I don't like is having a loose fitting backpack that stuff kind of feels sloppy, and that when I move, there's kind of a lag in it. So it's a really stable backpack. So I think that this is an exceptional backpack when it comes to good stability. The Osprey Atmos 65L backpack checks in at $270. So I think that that is a really good value backpack. So if you are somebody who's looking for an early backpack, say you're just getting into backpacking, or if you know that you love backpacking, you've been doing it for a while, this is going to be a really nice backpack for you. $270 is kind of like mid to low tier of backpacks in terms of price point. So I give it a really nice grade on value because it goes a long way for a lot of backpackers on the market. I don't think that this backpack is necessarily for everyone. It is for a large percentage of the market out there. It is for a lot of backpackers out there. But let's say for somebody who wants to be a photographer or somebody who really wants to do a lot of extended mission backpacking trips, this is kind of a difficult backpack to carry a lot of extra gear with. So if you're going to be carrying really heavy loads or a lot of gear, there are better backpacks for you if you are a mountaineer, climber, or somebody who really needs to haul a lot of extra stuff. I have packed this for a 2-night trip. Plus, of course, I have camera gear that not everybody's going to be bringing. And I'm pretty close to maxed out. So if I subtract my camera gear, I can probably get that 3rd, 4th day's worth of food in. So if you are looking for a great backpack to use for anywhere from 2, 3, 4 days, it does advertise that it's good for week-long plus trips. Now, if you were going to be doing that, you would definitely have to be very careful with how you pack it, how much gear you take, how much food you pack, things like that. So I think it's a perfect backpack for 4 days or less. And if you want to go more than that, you might look at having something that has an option of carrying a little bit bigger load for you. Now, there's 2 categories that I do think are very important to test when it comes to backpacks, but it's just going to honestly be really hard to test without giving this months on the trail. And that's durability, really, and water repellency. So it's a very dry day here. I could sprinkle some water from my water bottle on it, but that's not going to tell the full tale until I really get into just inclement weather. Obviously, most people are going to want to put a pack cover on if it comes to that, but it is nice to know if the materials used are naturally pretty water repellent, if it can withstand some rain, some snow, or if you instantly have to get that baby covered up. And of course, just durability. How well is this fabric going to hold up over time? Are buckles going to fail? Are zippers going to fail? Well, that's mostly going to remain to be seen. There is one thing that I would like to say on that, that I have been wary of, just knowing backpack markets in general, and being a former guide. I have seen zippers that have curves in them tend to be the first thing that fails on a backpack. And that is how this design has its zipper compartment for the sleeping bag. So that gives me some concern that possibly over time that is going to be a failure point. If you just think about curved zippers, you have stuffed a lot of stuff in it. It's got a lot of tension coming against those zippers. After years of use, they tend to blow out. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it is a concern of mine. However, I do appreciate that Osprey has a really nice guarantee on their products. If anything fails, if you have a buckle fails, if something just literally comes apart, or anything for the lifetime of their product, whether you bought it today or original product back in the 70s, Osprey is going to take care of you. When you get a $270 backpack and you can have that for life, know that if anything fails on it, that is a really nice guarantee that Osprey does. In conclusion, this is a great backpack for any beginner backpackers out there, intermediate backpackers out there, or people who really don't need to carry excessive loads. $270, that is a great value. I give it my stamp of approval. I would love to hear from you if you've used this backpack. Do you like Osprey backpacks? Do you like the Atmos pack? And yeah, I'm definitely going to be willing to go on a future backpacking trip with it. Love to hear your comments below. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed here on the channel. And that's it from me. I'm Eric Hansen. I'll see you later.